Wouldn't have to go anywhere because this is the Talk Beat Jones. All right, this is the Talk Beat Jones, and I am Billy E. Jones, and we're joined today by a very distinguished guest. So, without any further taking time, except to let you know, Talk Beat Jones, we're on there every Wednesday from 10 a.m. until 11 a.m. Also, there is a repeat broadcast. Got my cheat sheet. There's a repeat broadcast on 15.2 on Sundays from 4 to 5. And of course, you type in on the YouTube TV 3033 on demand, and you're able to follow Talk Beat Jones and all the other shows on WHPR by going to the date, okay? Now, here's another way to do this. How to get WHPR via cell phone. You go to the App Store or you Google Apps on your phone. You search for WHPR TV Now. Once you found it, you download it to your phone. Then you choose live streams. Then you'll see three selections. You want to choose WHPR TV. You want to press the play button or the arrow. There you have WHPR TV live. Thank you, Timmy Tim. And so we're ready to go. But here's what I want you to do, family. It's going to be a powerful program again today. And it has to be something that you have people that you need to listen today. It'll be good a little later, but today is really, really crucial. So, sir, when I say that, would you introduce yourself and let them know what we're talking about and why today is so crucial that the Talk Beat Jones and your name, sir?
Yes, my name is Jesse Banks.
I'm
a United States Air Force veteran. I served from 1966 to 1970. Today is crucial because this is the last day for the PAC Act in order to receive retroactive compensation. And that means for those who haven't filed, there's a chance all you got to do to get in the ballpark is to file what they call a intent to file. I have the VA form, a number for those who may have a pen or pencil. The form number is VA form 210966.
Now, Mr. Banks, because this information is so crucial and it is so fantastic that I know because the program is just kind of coming on, or they're just putting it in play. And somebody was not able to hear, and you got to make it so that people who can't hear good, people who can't understand words good, people who say, what you say, I want everybody to understand what you just said and how important that telephone number really is. So, sir, can you do it like to say, can you do it one more time?
Of course. It's a VA form. It's not a telephone number. It's a VA form. What you have to do is
now, when you say VA, that's for those who don't
Veterans
know.
Administration form.
Okay.
For filing intent to file.
Okay.
You can Google it as well, but I'm going to give you the number, make it a little bit easier for you. It's VA form 21-0966. Again, that's VA form 21-0966.
Now, Mr. Banks, what I'd like to do for folks saying, well, what is that form about? What did he talk? I need us today to go and recap that conversation that was so powerful, so strong, so that it freed so many people to receive benefits. Can we go back to when I first asked you your name and you came in and you told us from the beginning how people had not received this benefit? Can you talk to the people again to reawaken their attention to know what you're talking about?
Of course. The form, the PAC Act, it means promise to address comprehensive toxics. Essentially, what that means, the people who were subjected to burn pits during the Iraq and Afghanistan war, or in my case, Agent Orange, when I was in Vietnam, Thailand, and so forth. At that particular time, for my situation, Agent Orange, I was stationed in Thailand. I flew our missions out of Thailand to Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, but we never landed in Vietnam.
Okay.
So that was one of the prerequisite, that boots on the ground for those folks who were actually served in Vietnam. It was easy. They call it presumptive.
Let us go back for folks who may have missed that. When you say y'all flew over, you flew over the territory, the area, but the plane never came down and nobody never got off the plane.
That's correct.
Okay.
And that's one of the essential ingredients, I'll use it in those terms.
Okay.
That if you had what they consider boots on the ground, and in some instances, I understand if a plane landed in Vietnam and took off, that it would also qualify. For Afghanistan and Iraqi, the burn pit veterans, they were subjected to what was the burning of waste, batteries, anything. They put chemicals on it, and then they set it afire to take care of that. But the smoke and the fumes that people inhaled caused a number of diseases and illnesses. It's far more than it was in Agent Orange case. Lots of cancers.
Did these particular illnesses or diseases, were they sometimes put into the body and later years was brought to the surface, or that's when they became effective in terms of attacking the system?
Yes, and it's a sad state that I believe that they knew early on, even Agent Orange and burn pits, that it was going to be something that's going to create a future problem for vets.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, wow. Thank you. We want to put it out there because we have this worldwide audience. And we have folks who are listening, and they have to sometimes have more of a fulfilled feeling to know what that real impact of why this act is so important, and how we as a people, the children of the vets, and the effect that the war and the lack of benefits had on the children of the vets, because the children of those vets saw their fathers and their mothers going through that suffering that nobody would acknowledge.
True that. I did a lot of research early on because I had been denied many times for what now, I'm pleased to say, I have the benefits. And I found a lot of alarming.
Wait now. You say you had been denied. You didn't just walk in and because you are a 35-year person on the police department, and the fact that you've served since you were a man, 17, 18 years of age, and that didn't say, well, okay, here, he's got all these credentials, etc. Let's just approve him. First time around, is that right?
Don't happen that way.
Well, tell them some little history on that.
Some of the things that veterans have experienced, and hopefully it's gotten better.
Okay.
They didn't want to acknowledge the fact that a lot of these diseases was already known.
Okay.
Again, I did a lot of research early on, and I discovered that Monsanto and Dow Chemicals, those were the people who produced Agent Orange.
Okay.
And I'm not sure about the burn pit, so I won't be able to speak on that firsthand. But this is my research, what I came up with. They knew it had adverse effects on people, but yet because of the almighty dollar, and we may as well just be honest about it.
Well, that's what we're here. We're only putting it on the table right here. Bam.
Yeah. So they, they went on with it, and the powers that be went along with it. So the things that impact us today as a result of something that happened yesterday.
Okay. And so we're saying that we want our family members from wherever they may be to understand that today, and family, you'll be able to understand that you'll be able to hear, and all of this information will be great for even after today. But Mr. Jesse Banks, would you please tell the family why is it that they need to get on their telephones, on the computers, however they may communicate with friends, family, etc., that are vets, to let them know that today, why is today so important, Mr. Jesse Banks?
Well, Billy had me come back. I was actually on his show last Wednesday from a talk perspective. Wasn't here personally. Today is the deadline to file for the PAC Act in order to get retroactive money. Our president and our Congress folks, they approved a law which President Biden, it was bipartisan, so it was not a one-way street. He signed into law August 10th of 2022. And that's an important date because if you file today, which is the last day to file for the retroactive portion of it.
So get on up.
Gotta
get on up.
Yeah. And the best way and the quickest way to do it is online.
Online, okay.
Because if you go by paper today, by the time it gets to Janesville, Wisconsin, where the intake center.
Now, Mr. Jesse Banks, our audience, our family members who are personally watching maybe live, may struggle with the computer a little bit. Is it a simple form, or is it something that they have someone that can aid the seniors? Because we're talking about people who are kind of sick, older now.
It's a simple process. Again, but you got to have an idea about computers. There may be people where in senior citizens complexes might have people in the office that might be aware of how to retrieve a form and fill it out and submit it. Again, it would have to be online today because if you go the other route, I think you're going to run into some difficulty because I'm not sure if a postmark today will keep you in the ballpark or not. But the sure way is definitely online.
Yes. Okay. And what is the benefits in terms of them filing today and receiving what you said was back wages or back benefits as opposed to not filing at all? And let me kind of regress. First, what is the difference in going to the VA and filing? You've been filing all of these years, been doing the same particular thing. They've been doing the same, stamping you as reject. So what is different from the VA perspective that makes the veterans know that there is a new whatever in town? Who's saying this, making this difference for the VA that we have hope? Not me, family. I don't even try to cross and play like that. I'm not a vet. I'm sorry. But tell me, who is doing this? What's happening? What's the shakeup?
I smile because last time we were on the air, Billy used the phrase, "There's a new sheriff in town." And that's indeed the case. We have a new Secretary of Veterans Affairs. His name is Dennis McDonald. This guy is awesome. He has made personal visits. Whenever you find that there's an issue somewhere in the country at VA hospitals, and I'll use Detroit as an example.
Okay.
He came to Detroit, and you may have read about it in the papers, and I think he was on the news. And he ended up relieving the director of the hospital from her position because she wasn't effective.
Now, for those of us who don't quite understand the word relieve, can you break that word relieve of that position? What does
Pretty
that
much
mean?
fired.
Oh, okay. Just want to make sure we got it right.
Yeah. And he took a lot of questions from the vets that were in the audience. Unfortunately, I wasn't there because I really wasn't aware of it until after the fact, and I would have loved to have been there.
But you see, what you're just saying now is why we're doing this program and why I'm going to stop the presses and stop the folks. I'm going to say, Mr. Jesse Banks, I'm going to ask you now in front of the television audience and everyone else. I know this is mean of me, but sometimes a man got to do what a man got to do. So, Mr. Jesse Banks, you've got all of this knowledge. You've got all of this training. You've got all of the inside connections. You've got all of this love and compassion for the community and for folks. Why can I ask you to be a contributing person to the Talk Beat Jones on a semi-regular basis, either by telephone or come by at least maybe when you feel good and try to find it at least once a month?
I'll be honored.
Give me that. Give me that. Give me that. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. That's what I'm talking about, family. Sometimes if it's just right for you, if it's just right for you and it's going to benefit you, as we continue to grow, us, that's what it's about, because you heard him say, if he had known about a situation, what was that you wish that you had known that you would have taken care of and been a part of, Mr. Jesse Banks?
That the Secretary of Veterans Affairs, Dennis McDonald, was in Detroit.
Thank you. Thank you. So the folks behind that particular outlet to get the word out didn't succeed in planting the seed within the heartbeats of Detroit.
In my case, correct. And I'll give an explanation as to probably why I was out the loop. I didn't get the greatest of care at the VA hospital in Detroit.
Okay.
So I chose to drive to Ann Arbor, which is 40, whatever miles away. And I got what I should have got to Detroit. But now
you got the quality of care that you knew as a person who has served in the military since the age of 17, 18 years of age. You've seen and you knew what type of care that other folks was receiving in going into their VA hospitals, etc. So you knew the differences, and you demanded to have nothing but the best take care of you, sir. Let's put it out there the way it is.
That's correct. There's a lot of veterans who will drive past the VA hospital in Detroit to go to Ann Arbor because it's amazing. It was such a difference in the attitude, the care, and they took care of the little things. And as I've gone through life, I noticed if the little things are taken care of, the big things take care of themselves.
That's right. That's right. It's like to say, if the lady at home is not happy.
Yeah, and little things for me is like if it's papers and stuff strewn on the floor and it stays there, nobody picks it up.
That's right.
That's a concern and issue for me. Go into the restrooms and they're not clean. Like that means nobody following up to see what's going on. That's an issue for me. Then you have folks, or the receptionists are the intake people that they dress provocative. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not coming here for a strip show. I'm coming here for care. So I brought this all up to the attention of the director, then director,
right?
And it didn't seem like it helped much.
You said that they had drifted away from what classically we would call more of a professional, because they're dealing with the public type of dress attire.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's the thing that we have to look at. We have to look at that because of the age and the progression of attitudes in terms of how we can put our look together. The looks now are personal. The looks now are what they feel that makes them feel good. So where we are now is that word, quote, professional, is with the gunslinger who's throwing it out there. Because if the other folks at that job as a unit are dressing differently, then they consider that their professional look, as long as they're talking right, as long as they're acting right, interacting right. That's a difference. But I say that because I look and I see, and it's an acceptance of appearance of dress that is whereby it's like words, some words we knew of, but now they're words that's like common everyday words. So it's like dressing a certain way. It used to be thought of in a certain way, and now it's like that's the way, the choices that folks of your family, my family, your my. We just have to make that adjustment.
Yeah, for sure. You know,
And I understand what you're saying, because we had that odor of this is a professional unit, this is not a professional unit, and I can tell you now that I hear about businesses that are same business, and this business will tell you that the folks over here are not professional, and these folks over here are professional. We still get that.
absolutely. I'll just give you an example. I was a Detroit police officer for 35 years.
Okay.
I consider myself a very sharp individual. I mean, I took pride in my uniform and those who I commanded. I insisted that they
Talk about yourself.
they dressed accordingly. And what I used to tell them, I says, why is it that the state police seem to,
Always be sharp.
have command more, respect than Detroit? And it's the beginning is their uniform presence, and their mannerism. And I insisted on that when I was commander at the second precinct, third precinct, and fifth precinct. I didn't.
Come on, I mean,
didn't-
that's what I'm saying. See,
I
you're
didn't-
homeboy.
I didn't settle
homeboy.
for mediocrity. You had to, you had to step up to the plate, and it makes a world of difference. Appearance does.
Yes.
Given you're going into an establishment that's supposed to be
T-
professional.
Tell your friends, Jesse Banks is on the air right now, y'all. Tell your friends, Jesse Banks, home man, right here, right here, right here. Got all this power, got all this information, and bringing it to you right here, Mr. Jesse Banks. Tell your friends, listen to what you got to talk to you about. Please go ahead, Mr. Jesse Banks.
Yeah. But back to the VA thing.
No, go ahead and continue with the understanding, because see, this affects our community is what I'm speaking of. See, we want to flow. That affects the attitude of our folks here in Detroit. So you understand that. So do we still have that type of folks who are in charge? And again, not an indictment, not a total comparison, etc. Just saying, is it more relaxed now than it used to be even in that department?
Well, I'm not going to comment on the powers that be today because they have their own mindset and they have to set their agenda, and it comes from the top down.
Okay.
At least in my opinion.
Okay.
And I stayed on top of my game, and hopefully the command officers of today would do likewise because it makes a world of difference.
Okay.
I took the time to know every officer that was under my command. I knew about their families, their children.
Wow.
So that takes time.
Right.
And but it's time well taken. So I think it holds true for any profession. You have to know your folks, from a personal standpoint.
And it's the same way with you coming here, Mr. Jesse Banks. You see that, and family, again, would you tell me, nothing that we speak on and nothing we spoke on is scripted or rehearsed. Family, you're hearing this man speak to you from his heart. And you can understand what I understand is that this is a communicator that has a chest, just a vast chest of great information, and it's his heart to share it. There's his heart to share it. Yeah. Some folks say, Billy Jones, he sure shouldn't have did that. Yes, doggone Busky. I did it and would do it again with this man. I'm going to ask. I know it wasn't comfortable. Didn't want it to be comfortable because I'm greedy.
Okay.
Is that good?
That's good. Yeah, right.
Sir? Let's see if you're there. Hello, are you there?
Are you talking to me?
Yes, sir.
We didn't call out the caller.
Okay, caller. Are you?
I thought you were talking to Mr. Banks.
What have you gathered so far from the conversation, Mr. Caller? What is your name? And by the way, for the folks who are watching this program today, I want you to understand the quality of the personnel, the conversation that you're being able to listen and receive this information that you can take home to the bank or however you put it under your pillows or save it up. Would you quickly tell them that who you are, Mr. Leo Brazil of Oakland, California, for those who are listening, and also for those who are in your hometown hearing your voice, maybe for the first time?
My name is Leo Brazil. I'm from Oakland, California. It's 7-something in the morning here in California, so I'm at a disadvantage. I'm a former city councilman in the city of Oakland.
2 times.
Yes. And I just got back into public life after turning 80 years old by taking an appointment on the Alameda County Reparations Commission.
Okay. And you retired as a what?
I don't understand.
What was your profession?
I was an attorney.
How many years?
35, 40 years.
I think that'll work, because what I'm saying is and I want the family to watch what's going to happen. I'm going to demonstrate to you when I say quality men having a conversation. Mr. Jesse Banks don't know. Mr. Leo Brazil don't know. Billy Jones don't know. But I feel magic in the air in terms of listening to this conversation that we're going to bring to you very shortly. We have a couple, 3 minutes before we're going to go to commercial break, I think. And then when we come back, we're going to set up and have a conversation that will include not just Billy Jones. And for those who want to understand, that's Billy Jones-size Jones as well. As I've talked about my comeback, bringing back that program that was almost 28 years in existence. Talk Beat Jones is here. But I am Jones-size, the fitness master. And I'll bring the Jones-size dance back very shortly. But I want you to know, it was not and is not something that I can say, oh, we're going to do the Jones-size and jump right back into it. As I said to you, like you, I put my body in the shop, and I left it there for all of those years. I'm bringing it out, but I got to put the oil back in it to get the motor running so it don't. But we're doing that, and I stated we're going to do it by Zoom. So that's coming up. That's coming up. Because again, just like the benefits is about health, we want you to be healthy. And I spoke on real quickly, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to prepare to let Mr. Banks speak. We spoke about years past in Oakland, California, when Oakland, California women, black women, led the nation in infant mortality death. That gave the call to the advent of the development program of DMS, Touch-Tone Adhesion Aerobic Movement Series for your cardiovascular care. All of that because people didn't understand the effect of aerobics and fitness, et cetera, et cetera. Also, as a person from Cal State University of Hayward who had taken Afro-Haitian dance as a football player. That's my secret. We now understand that black women lead the nation in dying during childbirth and after childbirth. Why? Healthcare. We'll talk about it further. Let's get ready to go to that commercial break. We're going to come back. Mr. Jesse Banks, if you can stay with us another half an hour, I believe I have something between you and Mr. Leo Brazil that's going to come out, and the folks are going to enjoy it.
My time is your time.
Okay. Hold on, Mr. Leo Brazil. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Family, this is the Talk Beat Jones, and I'm just excited to let you know that we're on the air every Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. We have a repeat broadcast on 15.2 from 4 to 5. You can type in YouTube, TV 33, on demand, TV33 on demand, and look at the date of the show that you want to see, and you can pull it up. Okay? Also, how to get WHPR via your cell phone. People say, I can't see you. I'm walking around. Walk around with your cell phone. Here's how you do it. How to get WHPR via your cell phone. You go to the App Store or the Google Apps on your phone. You search for WHPR TV now. Once you found it, you download to your phone. Then choose live streams. Then you'll see 3 selections. You want to choose WHPR TV. You want to press the play button or the arrow. There you have WHPR TV Live. Family, stay with us. We'll be right back. We got a great presentation coming later, right about now. You wouldn't have to go anywhere because this is the Talk Beat Jones.
Justice for Mario Willis. Truth. Facts. Evidence. Matter. Log into justiceformariowillis.com. Read for yourself.
We, the people of Detroit, is dedicated to community coalition building and to the provision of resources that inform, train, and mobilize the citizens of Detroit and beyond to improve their quality of life. As a community-based grassroots organization, we, the people of Detroit, aim to inform, educate, and empower Detroit residents on imperative issues surrounding civil rights, land, water, education, and the democratic process. For more information, call 844-42-WATER, 844-42-WATER, or email wethepeopleofdetroit.com.
To put your podcast on iHeartRadio? Yes, your podcast on iHeartRadio. What about Alexa, Roku, Fire Stick, Apple TV, Android, or iPhone? Plus live TV streaming. Get your podcast seen and heard all over the world. Call 313-868-6612. Pre-recorded shows are accepted to be archived. This is a WHPR distribution platform. Download the app from the App Store. Go to WHPRTV.com. Channels available for lease 24/7 on Roku, Fire Stick, or Apple TV. Coming soon, subscription and pay-per-view.
Also,
Block time is available. Get yours. Call 313-868-6612. That's 313-868-6612. Executive producer R.J. Watkins. Program director Henry Tyler. 107.5 FM WGPR HD2. RadioWeCanSee.com.
Have to go anywhere because this is the Talk Beat Jones. I think I'm going to do a little sit down to that theme. Do a little sit down and Give him a little Jonesy sit. I'm feeling so good now that we've decided to come off the shelf and do things and feel good and work with the body and not let the body work you. You know, just feeling the aches and the pains, etc. But it's good aches and pains because there is a tomorrow when you work to have a few pains. You know it's going to get better. But family, this is the Talk B. Jones. Again, I am Billy E. Jones and also Jones Asides. This today is my guest. Your name, sir?
Jesse Banks.
And remember, you can watch the program every Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And also repeat broadcast on 15.2. That's a Sunday from 4 to 5. And you put in YouTube, TV 33, Talk B. Jones on demand. Let's bring in Mr. Leo Brazil. Leo? I got to do this button. Hello, Leo. There we go. Leo, you there? Talking to you, Leo.
Yes, yes.
Oh, yeah, I know you was there. He's 80,
I'm
y'all.
here.
It takes a little time for him to get to
Oh,
the...
no, you didn't go there.
Oh, you ought to hear. This is like say one of my idols from Oakland. I mean, he's all that. But tell me, Mr. Leo Brazil.
Yes.
Now you've been listening, and what I'd like to do is introduce you to Mr. Jesse Banks. And one thing I'd like to have the two of you to discuss real quickly is, as young men, because we're talking about the VA. As young men coming out of school, junior high school, why were you focused on going, or were you focused on going to the military? And I'd like to hear what your thoughts were. Mr. Banks, I'd like to hear your thoughts as well, please. So, Mr. Leo Brazil, tell me your thoughts, please.
Well, I got out of high school in 1960. And so the choices for young black men was college, the military, or the job market. And the job market was extremely limited for young black men in terms of the choices that we had. And the most expedient way, since I didn't have the money to go to college, was to go into the military. And so that's what I did. I went into the Air Force from 1960 to 1964. When I got out of the military, I had my GI Bill, so I could now go to college, and that's when I headed to college.
Let me
that money.
Okay, but let me stop you one moment there about that training as an Air Force person. We've been on television and we've been talking about different things, and then you've spoke on some special training that you received while you were in the Air Force, and some things you say, well, you can't talk about. But can you tell us real quickly, and then go back to your other parts of you?
Well, I assume I still got my top secret clearance and all that other kind of stuff, and I don't want to talk about it. But brother, he said he was in the Air Force. He'd understand. I was in NBC.
In
Nuclear,
what?
Biological and chemical warfare. That's as much as I can say about it.
Okay. Well, that's almost like we talked about the burn pit.
The burn pit is a new thing for me, and that's why I was so interested in this, because it connects into my reparations issue that I'm working on right now. And I would like Brother Jesse to speak more on the descendants that would be able to get these benefits, because
well hold on, Leo, hold on. See, this is what I'm talking about. See, you're in Oakland, California. He's in Detroit, Michigan, and we want the world to hear how men talk. Because when we was doing the Talk B. Jones, we said to the world, we're going to teach folks who are listening, trying to understand how to talk, how we talk, how we get together, how we speak without having to yell, fuss, and fight. Because you may have heard and been reading other things about us in the media, etc., about how we do things, but it's not true. You're seeing it live. Go right ahead, sir.
I don't know where I left off.
You were talking about your youth.
Well, how much more of my youth do you want to hear about?
Well, let me do it this way.
I'm 80 years old, man.
No. Hold on. We're not asking that part. We just want to go in that part that you went into the military. Why? And you were talking about your clearance.
There were jobs.
But you were talking about your clearance in the military.
As a young black man, I couldn't go and work at certain establishments. It was very limited area for us to go out and get jobs at 18, 19 years old as black men.
But from that perspective,
the military was always there.
But you went
so
from
now
there.
that the military has been shut down because you got to have a high school education, all that kind of stuff, the other alternative was prison.
Okay.
And that's the big alternative that a lot of our young black men today end up in that prison line.
Okay. Hold on right there. Mr. Jesse Banks, what brought you to the military? At what age?
Mr. Brazil, almost, I can say ditto to that because that's exactly the reason why I went into the military. I was 17, and I was a pretty good student. I didn't get scholarship offers and so forth, but my great-grandmother, who never stepped in a day in school, always used to say...
Could you speak a little louder?
I said my great-grandmother, whom I was blessed to stay with my great-grandparents and my grandparents. My grandfolks raised me. But my great-grandmother, she always emphasized education, even though she never had stepped foot into a school setting. And once I got out of high school at 17, and as you did, I looked around, and there was really nothing to do. And education was at the forefront of my mind. So the Air Force was the avenue. I had to talk to my uncle who had been in the military. He used the GI Bill when he got out. And he said, you go into the military, the GI Bill would take care of your education and other things. So that's what I did. And I enlisted in the Air Force at 17. My mother had to sign because I wasn't 18 at the time. But yeah, Mr. Brill, you said some things that really came to mind because you said something about your top secret clearance, but I'll let you know you don't have it any longer. I had a top secret clearance as well. And some of the things that I had done, which I could talk about today because they're going to send me to prison. I did and saw some things that wasn't kosher. I'm using that word. But yeah, I was in a place once where we weren't supposed to be there, but I was there. I was there with a group called Air America. They was a CIA. The CIA. You know it, then. You know it, right?
Wait, I told you guys once y'all start flowing that you would find that your mentals would connect. Go right here, sir.
I was an expert on the M61 machine gun, and that was a weapon that fired 6,000 rounds a minute. And they needed some training in Laos, a place we weren't supposed to be there, but I was there. But they stripped me of my my dog tags, my ID card, anything that I had that would be military or anything, citizen of the United States, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I ended up, because of the amount of money that they were offering me to do this for 4 days, I ended up going there and I trained the folks, trained Laotians, some Vietnamese, and some Cambodians on the M61 machine gun.
Now, let me stop both of you just for a moment because here are young folk going into the military. Now, there's thousands and thousands and thousands of folks who go into the military and they do their time and they never actually receive or never are selected to receive the type of training that you guys received. So what made the military decide to give you guys this type of specialized training? And how did you get to be so good on the gun range?
Well, that was my primary weapon on the, and I might mention some C-119 gunships, which only an Air Force person may know unless you've seen them in movies, or C-130s, which you see them in almost every movie. They were armed with the M61 machine guns and miniguns, and now they've gotten big cannons on the 130s, which they didn't have when I was in the military, or towards the end of the military.
Okay. Mr. Brazil, what made them select you for this? You had specialized training, so what made them select you, or did you gear yourself to make them notice you?
No, I took a test like everybody else. They assigned me based on my test scores that I should go into nuclear, biological, and chemical warfare. And that was the big dangers to the Air Force. I was assigned to SAC, which is Strategic Air Command, and I had to figure out how to get bombers off the ground and send them to Moscow, how to deal with Minuteman missiles and so forth. if we got a nuclear attack, there were certain procedures. If we got a biological attack, there were certain procedures. And if we had a chemical attack on our base or whatever, we had to be able to function in that atmosphere. And I was trained to send crews out in the nuclear atmosphere to work on the B-52s to get them up off the ground and keep them flying.
That's impressive. Because when we were talking about, we brought that information out, because when we were talking about folks doing this nuclear, what would happen? What is the actuality of what was happening? But anyway, now let us twist this back to the benefits. Now, Mr. Jesse Banks, once again, noting the different things that can happen. We got young folks. We've had you and Mr. Leo Brazil talk about young folks who went into the military, did some wonderful things. But we have all of those thousands and thousands of thousands who went into the military that did the grunt work that was at those burn pits. But they came home, and the parents and the children and the wife and the husband, they want to love them. How can they be compensated for not only their physical injuries, but their mental injuries that not only they suffered, but their loved ones suffered as well because they were not there?
Yeah. True that.
I mean, physically they're there,
Yeah,
but mentally they're not there.
that's correct. The youth fight our wars, and not only in our country but throughout the world. It's the young folks who actually fight the wars. The average age, I think, during Vietnam was like 22. So it gives you an idea, and they stole our youth. And a lot of things that we experience and subjected to is come home to roost because, like with me, I got PTSD.
Now, you gave the initials. Can you tell us what that means?
Yeah, post-traumatic stress disorder.
And that is classified through what type of actions?
It's a mental condition. Having flashbacks, things
When
that you may
you're
have
doing
seen.
a flashback, what type of flashes are you going to?
Well, for me, I was at the end of the runway getting ready to take off, and it was an aircraft that was coming in for a landing, and it was at night, and he was experiencing some engine problems. They were old vintage aircraft. They weren't jets. These were reciprocating. That means prop jobs, for those who may be familiar with it. Of course, yes. And then I heard that he was experiencing some problems. I was telling my crew, I said, this guy's having an issue. And he says, how you know? Because when I was at Cass Tech, I was in astronautics. Which
Cass Tech in
high
Detroit?
School. Yeah, in Detroit,
Okay.
yeah. And I was in, my curriculum was in astronautics, which was, I dealt with aircraft as well. So I knew
In high school?
jets, in high school.
Talk about it.
And so, but as he cleared the jungle behind us, which was sprayed with Agent Orange, which again they didn't want to talk about, his aircraft just flipped vertical and went straight down. And
Now, vertical, you mean it turned over upside down?
vertical meaning he
Straight down?
yeah, straight down. But no, meaning that if aircraft come in this way, and
Wait.
suddenly
For those who
Yeah, you
can't
can't
see,
see me, yeah.
no. For those, so you're taking your hand and you're pushing your hand away from your chest straight.
and then it flipped
Then you're taking your hand and you're moving it to the right side,
right there. So it's up and down,
up and down,
vertical,
it's like the Indian chop.
a vertical, and then it crashed.
And then it went straight. Then taking your hand and moving it straight down
yes,
towards the ground.
and it crashed
And it
and
crashed.
killed the two member crews right in front of us.
Wow.
Yeah, I tried to help them, but the fire was so intense that it's nothing I could just do is see the silhouette of them burning in front of me.
Yes.
So yeah, that was one of many experiences. Not saying many, but a few others that I.
So now, once again, today is a day that you're saying that they should. Can you get that number and talk about that number that you have once again
Sure.
to get it out? So that now that we've given a lot of the history and a lot of the thoughts and the flowing, can you let them know why they should write this number down and why is it so important to do that today?
Well, I'll start out by, and I think Mr. Brazil can relate to this in reparations. They can get back pay. And that's why it's important today. You got to file today. If you file today, you're in the ballpark. But you can get, depending on what your ratings are, that you can get thousands of dollars. So it depends.
Now, how do I get a rating?
Well, what you do is file your claim.
Stay with the mic.
File your claim, and then there will be, at some point in time, you'll get a review, possibly a comp and pen exam, what they call the acronym is C&P exam. And if you are successful in your comp and pen, then the rater will put a number or percentage, and then from there, from the percentage, it becomes translating to amount of money, and then from there, you can get the back pay.
So explain that number, telephone number you have there.
The VA form number is 210966. Again, it's VA form 21-0966.
That VA form, once again, now that number, you got to write exactly these numbers, and that's what you're asking for, typing in, is VA?
Yes, exactly. And what will happen, the intent to file will pop up, and then that's what you fill out.
Okay, so that number again is?
The number again is VA form 21-0966.
Okay. And once you give this quickie about why people feel or should feel now that have been denied 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, you were denied 6 times, 5 times. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And so why did you not give up?
I don't give up. And you got to tell me something that really makes sense, not just, try to blow me off. And you know the difference. And I don't take it lightly. And I keep fighting. So
each time that you went in, did you have to adjust something on your form, or did you just submit the same form over and over?
Appeal. They're called appeals after you get a decision, and I just continue to appeal each time they denied me.
Was it based on the same form?
Same information.
Same information.
All that I'm now getting the benefits from is the very same thing all along that I've been given.
So now I want you to understand for the family here that you took the template of the original application, you submitted the same template, the same application 5 to 6 different times, and 5 times they said no on the same sheet, the same form, no difference. And yet on the 6th or 7th time, because, and will you tell them because, what has happened?
Because of the PAC Act, which President Biden signed into law August the 10th, 2022, that it changed everything. It brought Thailand into play, Guam, a lot of other places that they weren't Vietnam proper, but yet the studies have shown that because we were there, Agent Orange was sprayed, that we got something they call presumptive. That means that they acknowledged that it did and was there, and that's all you need to get you definitely in the ballpark.
So that's what we're talking about is that, and real quickly, if they see this and they say, oh, I missed that date, doggone it, I can't file. But again, if they file the same paperwork, now you may be approved. May be approved.
That's correct.
And what is the difference between saying, I got this paperwork that I've been rejected, I done put in about 6, 7 times, them people, they ain't gonna help me. They ain't gonna help me. Well, Mr. Jesse Banks, could those same people be gone? Or they no, I'm saying, what did the new sheriff do?
Well, he opened the door.
No,
he not necessarily he, but the law did.
But what did he do for Detroit? Please step in the microphone.
Oh yeah, he brought back hope and a plan, and it's up to us to use it. And if you don't use it, you lose it.
And those folks who were being directed by Washington to do a job in Detroit, he came here, saw that, in his opinion, they were not helping the people, taking care of the people, loving the people, and he made a change. You call it he relieved, but out here we call it he fired her.
Fired, yes.
So now, if you fired folks who said, well, I can't do nothing for you because my manager said this is the way we got to do it. And the manager said, well, that's the way the supervisor say. Well, they gone because they got a new manual now. Things has changed. So I'm saying to you, don't stay stuck. Don't stay depressed about you saying what you can't do. Get on up, get on up, get on up, and do it now. Get on the computer, get on the phone. That person's been depressed because they just can't do it, ain't been doing it. Help them out. Give them some hope. Let them know, did you see that doggone Talk Beat Jones person here? That Mr. Jesse Banks? He said there's a new sheriff in town. The man that came to town, he done fired them other folks down there. Them folks that wasn't treating you right. Them folks telling you that the paper ain't right. The people telling you they can't do nothing for you. They gone. They gone. So get on up. Tell somebody. And if you can't do it today, Mr. Banks, would you tell them what still happens? I got about a minute or two. Please quickly do it.
Well, for the retroactive money, it ends today. But afterward, the PAC Act is still in play, but you won't get the retroactive. So you can still file beyond the day.
So the same factor that you can get approved for benefits moving forward. Is that what we're saying?
That's correct.
That's what we talk about.
But you won't get the retroactive.
But
back pay.
will that still allow the children to receive the benefits and the potential grandchildren receive the benefits as well, real quickly?
Exactly, yes.
So you see, that's why we got to have you, because we got to get that real clear. But family, Mr. Leo Brazil, want to say real quickly goodbye, please?
Goodbye.
We'll see you back next week, Leo. Thank you. Love you, bro.
All right.
Okay. So, family, this has been the Talk Beat Jones. I am Billy E. Jones. That's a guy called Jones Aside that will come back as soon as I get some of these pains and shake off me. And just like you, I hurt, but we got to do it. Okay. Remember, every Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 11, we're here. Don't forget to share and like. And I won't give you the rest. I'll let Mr. Banks say goodbye.
Goodbye.
All right, family. Time is out. I got to go. Bye, Dad. Love y'all.
You wouldn't have to go anywhere because this is the Talk Beat Jones.